Alright, Calvin, we're live. Just post it on story and then get people to see it.
Got you.
Yeah.
Alright, Calvin, let me know when you're ready and I'm gonna start.
Ready now?
Alright. Welcome to the Pompy Show. I'm your host.
Thank you.
Amp Cad. With my co-host, Tell Heaven. Today we have a very special guest. First, I don't know, you're in the music realm, but you know, it's first.
I don't be making anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We got the motherfucking Cole Hazard, CW Hazard interview. Log this one in. This shit's crazy.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
Fucking, you went to Summer Smash.
Yeah, no, that shit was insane.
What was the craziest thing you seen?
I'd say craziest thing I saw was probably just all the fucking fights. There was a fight during T Grizzly, fight during Lucky. There was honestly a lot more fights than I had seen, at Gov Ball at least.
Holy shit.
So that was pretty funny.
Were they just fighting the music type shit on some friendly?
No, they were actually fighting, trying to beat the shit out of each other. The dude, one dude was literally fucking stomping this dude while he was down at the T Grizzly one. It was fucking crazy.
Jeez. How long
That's fun. Music festivals bring the worst out of people sometimes, I swear.
Yeah, because it's a bunch of different fan bases kind of coming together, and some fan bases are definitely more violent than others.
Yeah, no, and it's also just a lot of different people. You're having people coming in from so many different states, so you have no clue what you're getting into with 90% of music festivals.
And it was also in Chicago, which is drill rap scene and all of that shit, and fucking.
The fucking stuff about Chicago actually gets overstated a bit. It's not even a top 15 most dangerous city anymore.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the shit is just what people remember from early 2010s, when Chicago had its worst issues. They've done a lot of actual progress towards it. It's been pretty cool.
That's dope. That's dope as fuck. And are you from Chicago?
Oh no, I'm from Maryland, right outside the Annapolis area.
Hell yeah. It's that's where Brandon Buckingham is from too.
Oh shit, no way.
Yeah. Fucking yeah, that's fire. How long have you been building your Instagram account and your TikTok? You're probably
really
on TikTok, but
yeah, no, just a little over a year now, I'd say. I really haven't been doing stuff or into it for too long, I'd say. At least compared to other people I've seen doing it.
Yeah.
I'm fairly new into this.
I wanna say I seen you in the fucking I don't know his name, bro, but the dude who makes beats, bro. He's how to fucking he's making the how to make this beat in 30 in under a minute or some shit.
I don't I feel the guy on TikTok?
Yeah.
I've seen some of his videos.
I seen you in his videos a lot. You guys just came on the scene at the same time.
Oh, that's really cool.
And yeah, there's definitely been times where I've seen your videos and I thought they were real too, and then I found out some of the stuff in the video wasn't I think there was one opium one where I definitely believed it and I went hard about it for 3 days.
No, it's funny as hell. I try to keep my shit as believable as possible, or try and blur that line.
Yeah. What artists are you into right now?
I'd say I'm heavy into listening to Acid Soldier right now. He's someone I've been really getting into. Listening to a ton of Wabo, Perry Mason. Shout out Unpolarize as well. He's fucking killing it. And I'd say that's who I've been mainly listening to. YBS Scola too, some Baltimore rap.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Throw in some Crystal Castles every now and then, and then just a variety of random stuff. I have a massive playlist that I just shuffle through.
Fuck yeah, that's fire. Are you would you say you're more into rap than other genres, or do you think you're pretty?
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah, for sure. Do you like other
I would say rap. I definitely do. I listen to a few other things. I'll have some phases where I listen to certain pop, certain rock stuff. Had a punk phase, early quarantine. Listened to some this band Otoboke Beaver. They're a Japanese rock band. I think that I've really fucked with. Was onto baby metal a little bit before a few years ago.
Yeah.
So just try to keep a variety of things. I mainly like got a lot of my variety taste from just like various Fantano reviews and
Hell
just
yeah.
going through and trying to like see what like trying to see what was good for me compared to like his thoughts.
Hell yeah. How do you feel about Fantano? You think he's just like
He's pretty cool. I think he gets fucking overhated a little bit.
yeah, for
I think
sure.
people really like don't understand the full context of his interviews and like what like it really means and like the whole space of music versus like just interviewing and rap stuff.
Yeah.
Like he's definitely a bit of out of touch, and I don't think like most of the music that's being made in that he's reviewed that gets received poorly is really like made for him. But at the same time, like I get people's frustration.
He really likes 100 gigs. He's really into 100 gigs. He gets
Yeah,
really
no, he
into it.
is. He didn't rate the first album like the highest though.
Yeah, and I think he rated the newest one like a 7 or something, which for him that's like really good.
The newest one is 7
I think so, something
as
like
well.
that.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, I thought he would have rated the newer one higher. I didn't see that review.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
I think he's definitely shaped a lot of like even like I don't know if you want to be like a content creator in the rap scene or in the music scene in general. He was
Hmm.
definitely like the person, and I think I fuck with Fantano. He was like interviewing like
Yeah.
Murder Mover before she got big and shit.
Hmm.
So he definitely has an eye for music. Is there any like I don't know how to like I don't know how to like rap influencer seems like wrong.
Hmm.
That definitely sounds bad.
Like, so what is it you're asking?
Like, is there any like people in that same like content scene as Anthony Fantano that like you respect or like you got
Like
inspiration
music
from?
content. Annabelle Klein's definitely like my number one. I'd say she's someone who like I'd say like kind of like look up, like definitely want to model a lot of my shit around,
Hell yeah.
and who's like definitely my favorite. And it like what she's been doing with that good shit is just like inspirational. It's really cool seeing what she's done with it. If
Oh yeah.
you have to check it out if you haven't.
That's yeah. Your content is like I don't know. I feel like it's different from all these like other accounts that are in the scene
Hmm.
like the hyperpop dailies, the Slay World Albanias, eras of
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
There's a million of them now.
It's just different content styles, really. Like when you look at them, they're pages that like have to really focus on posting content, getting out there, being in the feeds, and like really circulating around that stuff and like breaking through.
Yeah.
Like it all serves a purpose. It's like the ecosystem of content. Like I try definitely want to fill in more of that like long term, more meaningful, not more meaningful, like I guess like more connected directly like to the music
Yeah.
and like to the artist without like as much focusing on like the numbers and really like pushing it.
Hell yeah.
And so like that's why I want to really like get into the live stream space and build that up.
Fuck yeah. That's a really good path to go.
I like that.
I was gonna ask because you're very intelligent in terms of like music. You know what you're
Thank
talking
you.
about. Do you manage any artists?
Um, Low key, like my friend Luke at Loftlanic on Instagram. Like I kind of like jokingly manage him, where like I'll like hook him up with stuff, like with trying to like get his music out to like artists and whatever. But I don't like not like super invested in it. Trying to focus on building up my own stuff first.
Yeah, that makes sense. You seem like you'd be the type to like be very good at it and succeed.
Yeah, no, it's definitely in line in the future. I just don't want to like. I definitely see it in line in the future in terms of like just like the money would be a cool thing to do in general, but also just because I want the time and resources to properly do it. I don't want to like go into stuff like too half-assed or like not like properly do it and like especially in the management role screw out and like fuck over someone else's career just because like I didn't get my shit in line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
I agree.
What was the Hyperpop Daily basketball game like?
Oh, dude, that shit was so fucking crazy. He had only told me about everything around it, like I think a few days before. But
You still got out there and fucking.
yeah, no, still got out there. It was a ton of
Who'd
fun.
you play with? Like, who was on your team?
Played with Nigo Chanel, played with Goyard. He's a producer. Who else?
Producer.
Yeah, your stepdad. He didn't really play. He just kind of chilled on the bench. Fuck, PCAJ. A few other people I can't think of right now, but
Who'd you play
I definitely
against?
wish I did.
Was like the craziest.
Who was like the best, or what do you mean?
Like, just like, what the fuck? I'm playing against a rapper and they're like really good at basketball.
K Suave is fucking insane. He was like D1 for a bit.
Oh,
Like he was like a California state champion and a bunch of other
Oh,
shit. Like so he was dominating everything, and I didn't realize how good Bob Lamb was at basketball.
Bob Lam is pretty good at
Honestly,
basketball.
he's really solid.
Um, correct me if I'm wrong, but was DC there? I feel like
No, I think he had COVID or he was sick or something, so he had to call out.
yeah, he was fucking on the Chino Hills team with like
Yeah, with
Lamelo and shit.
Lamelo.
Yeah, that's crazy though that like that even happened. Like this fucking niche little Instagram account had a whole basketball game just filled with like rappers. Like if somebody would have
Yeah,
told me
no.
that in like 2019, I would have been like, you're fucking wrong.
No, it's so cool. It's such a great moment. It was like such a like the energy there was like unlike anything else I'd ever been to. It really just felt like it was really cool. It was really special. Like it's unlike any event I've been to.
Yeah,
Like just everyone there really just to like play ball, see each other, and like having like it felt like a whole reunion more than just like a basketball game, honestly. Like that's how I describe the event is like an underground reunion.
that's
Like getting like all so many people from all different scenes in one single place. It's really cool.
that is really cool, and I feel like that's like the only like event that could happen.
And that's happened around like that. That's happened in that way too.
For sure. You follow a lot of my like my friends like Moonracer. You follow Moonracer. That was also
Yeah,
like kind of shocking.
I've been following him for a bit on TikTok.
He's very interesting. I think his sound is
I
like
like that dude.
And I haven't checked out too much of the music. I just like what I've seen. I've just seen some of his stuff on my TikTok. I think I got like one of his songs in my playlist.
hell yeah, fuck yeah, that's fire. How do you feel about like video games and shit? Like I know you stream a lot of games.
You know, I fucking love it. It's like one of my favorite things. It's like what in general has like gotten me into like the general like media space. It was my first introduction to like social media with like YouTube and stuff. So
Hell
like that's something that's like always at my core that I always have a ton of fun with. And like that I'll always like go back to in some way and want to always find a connection to make with like music and video games and like always bridge that. Like been involved with a bunch of the stuff with Dreamskate, having a video coming out with them soon. So I'm hyped for that and like what's gonna happen with it. You know, Dreamskate's a real thing. It is going to be coming out. It's like being worked on. Where like it's in the process of shit.
I remember they had like the dude was submitting like he was having people submit songs to be on the soundtrack. I remember this.
Yeah. You know, we're gonna be redoing submissions. I think I'm gonna be helping or like involved
Are
with
you
some of
like on the
that.
team? Are you working on it?
Like I'm helping with like a lot of the social and like video stuff with it. Yeah.
So yeah, it's
I'm
technically.
working on also working on like a filter with Pro Am, so I'll keep that secret though. That'll be a little fun thing.
How do you feel about Shed Theory coming up and like kind of taking over
It's really it's funny as hell. It's really weird. Like it's just like some of the least shit that last shit that I'd expect.
to blow up a
Like
bit?
a bunch of like some like was it like Rhode Island like
Yeah,
like New England a bunch of like New England dudes making like cloud rap stuff while also being like heavily associated with like Sam Hyde. Like everything about them is just like so unreal and so
It's
weird and
interesting,
like
very interesting.
isn't like everything about them like isn't rap. Yet they've blown up in like the rap space. Everything about them isn't, but everything about them is. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
they don't like besides Joey, like a lot of them don't even make like I would say straight up rap. It's a lot of like experimental shit. Except for
You
like
know,
Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher
it's
makes a lot of plug.
a lot of them is just sound.
Yeah,
Feels
pretty
like
much. Yeah, I fuck with it
some
though.
of it. No, it's hard shit. It's fucking insane. It's crazy. But like when you try and show it to like anyone else who hasn't had exposure to like that type of sound, that type of scene, it's really funny.
Hell yeah,
I've seen this beforehand.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
so
no, I
many
was showing
things.
my root. Was it? Sorry.
So many things like are blowing up that just don't like. It doesn't make sense. Whether like the Mr. Krabs fucking on underground
I mean,
beats.
that makes sense. Like it's literally Mr. Krabs over Yeet stuff. That's perfect. That's an experience. That's like a recipe for going viral.
And it's just working so well. Like
Yeah.
everybody is doing this.
Yeah, no, like it's interesting. Like to really break through, you have to like find really unique ways to attach your music to something. Like it's no like, while there definitely are those spaces where the music can speak for itself, when you're talking about in terms of like the more like rage plug and like more like mainstream sounds and scenes, or like not mainstream, but like kind of those like underground is like the actual
Like
term I
the
meant to say.
upper echelon of it.
Like those like upper underground sounds that like you usually hear.
Like
Like you
auto
really have to
tune.
have something accompanying it just because everyone else is like doing that. Like you look at Fulcrum, he broke through by like doing. Granted, he was mainly known as an influencer, but
Yeah.
fuck, he went on a tour.
Yeah, I think his music is pretty good. I fuck with Fulcrum, yeah.
It's solid. I have some of his shit in my playlist.
Yeah, some of it's. I think for him, it's like hit or miss. I really like his videos though, his content.
Mm. Like with him, with Cash Crabs, like you have to have something else that can connect with the audience, or else it's just not going to break through.
This is true. And Cash Crabs is like a real person. I didn't even know that.
You know, I forgot his actual name. I follow him on Instagram. But, like, he's a solid, like, he's been fucking killing it.
Yeah.
Genius.
And then like some people use the AI voice shit, which I think is crazy. That's really like came a long way.
I think that's kind of gimmicky as hell.
Yeah,
like it's
they make
like
it
all the
sound
AI, like AI.
They have every
that?
bar is like a SpongeBob bar, you know, like they try to make it
Yeah.
too gimmicky.
Well, no, it's just like just AI shit in general. Like it's definitely fun hearing all the different voices and whatever, but it's just like so copy and paste, and it really doesn't break through or help anything. And like when you're talking about like people who create like the fake cosigns with it, you're only setting yourself up to either get looked at as weird or face legal issues.
That's true. That's very true. Are you into like the hyperpop scene at all?
Definitely a little bit. I try to like keep up with some of it. I'm not like as into, I'd say, a lot of like the like underground hyperpop stuff. Like a lot of the hyperpop stuff I listened to was like around like the Charlie XCX, Slater,
Yeah.
Dorian Electra, like that's what else is it? Sophie, like that scene of hyperpop
Yeah.
more so than like the Nova Gang side of it.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. Yeah, I feel like there's hyperpop fans are like two different. Like they either cling on to that or they cling on to the Nova Gang style, and the younger fans
Yeah.
seem to cling on to the Nova Gang style. The fact that Nova Gang is like still a really strong thing like this year is like
Are they
very, very impressive.
Are they still a collective?
Yeah, they still have Quinn, and I think they have Xavier Sobased, Zootzy, a lot
Midwest.
they have a lot of people. Casper Gem, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Midwest.
I never really listened, so I didn't really know.
Midwest is in it too.
Yes, Midwest.
Oh.
I thought he just ditched all the underground shit. I figured he would have just like gone because I thought he's gone like label, not gone label, but like I thought he's like on a label now and like really getting pushed in that way because I just saw him with the Denzel Curry feature.
With his newer albums,
his new album's pretty good. Yeah.
Back in Action really got taken over by his label though.
That's true.
It got hit with a really mainstream sound.
What do you think is like the biggest what if with rap music? Like somebody who could have been something like amazing just wasn't.
I mean, I really do think like for me, like obviously like biggest ever is just gonna be like the easy answer X.
Yeah.
Like he was like 20 years old and what like where was he on the Billboard like number 2, number 1 on Billboard like at 20 with a like. So I mean he's probably like the easiest, but like I think for most special and like I really would have loved to seen is like personally Sad Frosty. Like I was a huge fan of him. Like I had gotten on to ADHD freestyle when it was like only on SoundCloud before you even got it up on like streaming and stuff. I remember finding it at like 30K because a meme page reposted it, and it was just like my shit. I used to love Sad Frosty. Like to this day, I still have his like the ADHD freestyle frowny face as a smiley face as my Steam profile picture. I haven't changed it.
That's cool. Sad Frosty R.I.P. bro. I don't.
I know.
That was like probably the biggest death that shocked me. I wasn't expecting that ever.
Mm-mm.
You never really expected, but you know, like I didn't. I don't know. I watched him a lot on Quadeca's channel too.
You know, I just listened to his music. I remember like knowing DC the Don as just Sad Frosty's friend.
Fuck yeah, that's funny. Fuck, I was gonna ask you a question, but it slipped me, bro. Oh, fuck. Oh, I think Tommy Ice could have been something. amazing. You know who Tommy X
Mhm.
is? He was
No, I don't.
made a lot of emo rap shit. He could still be amazing. I'm not saying he's bad or anything, but
Mhm.
he had this like fucking like potential. Like I had kids in like 7th grade when I was in like 6th grade being like, "This is like the shit." They're bumping this
Mhm.
shit on the back of the bus. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then I listened to it, and it's like definitely pioneered a lot of the emo rap sounds. It was like
Mhm.
it was coming up at the same time as like Casper was coming up and
Mhm.
fucking like Savage Gasp. That's one that fucking I don't know what happened to him. He probably has like
Mhm.
allegations. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Everybody does nowadays. Is fucking bad.
Yeah.
I think that shit is the whole fallout of Slay World too. Like they're all in like very different like places in their careers. I think, including
Mhm.
Wyland.
Yeah. No, he's just off doing his own thing. I think he's set for whatever.
He is. He's. I think he's out of all of them. I think he has the most potential to be like. I don't know. Like very get very big mainstream success. Like all of
Yeah.
them are like doing very good numbers and they like probably rake in a lot of money, but in terms of like I don't know, I could see like wowing a whole stadium. Definitely Wyland, it's because of Vices. Vices is really good.
Vice is one
Uh,
job.
I thought it was so boring.
I understand that honestly. It's not
Like
for everybody.
I liked it on drop, but like re-listening to it and like going back, like I realized like how boring a lot of it is and like how repetitive it is. And like going deep, like listen to I won't say like got deep into it, but listen to a bit of other like synth pop stuff, and it's like if you get more into the genre, there's a lot much better stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah, I go with you, man, for sure. Who would you say out of like the big three in Slay World, like Autumn, Can, and Summers? Who would you pick?
I don't really listen to any of them for real. I mean, I'd say like probably Summers just because I listen to most of the music. I probably listen to him the most, but I'm trying to like move out of like that general and like try and like move my space into like the more like all
Unique stuff.
like try and listen more into like the more like Wabo kind of sound if you know him,
Yeah.
like in like that Annabelle Klein side of the underground. Just because like there's a lot less allegations, there's a lot less toxicity.
I agree.
Like as much as I like some of the music, I've always enjoyed like some more of like that like experimental and like alt sound
For
with
sure.
like rap, like more traditional.
Sure, bro.
And so like I definitely do want to like because like I think it's weird for me because I feel like I'm in a weird spot where I definitely do like a lot of this like electronic like hyperpop scene or not like the hyperpop
Yeah, I
scene,
know
like you
what
know, what I
you
mean,
mean.
the underground hyperpop.
Yeah.
Like, I've kind of like made a lot of content, blowing up and engaging in a lot in that scene, but I really want to like blow up and like grow more in like the more alternative and like traditional rap stuff
Yeah.
because that's kind of like what I've grown up on. That's what I enjoy, and that's like who I'm closest with in terms of like artists.
I get what you mean for sure. How do you feel about the whole like witch house scene?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty weird. I don't really like know much about it like outside of like Cemetery. I know like some of the other guys, Drown Town, Louis,
Shout out John.
Mikey, something, and then one other guy. I can't think of him, but I'm sure you follow him as well as I do. I just can't think of his name.
Maybe like Witch God. I don't know.
Nah, fuck, I forget.
Fuck, bro.
But it's a cool scene. I just don't. They're just outside of like the Haunted Mountain stuff. There isn't really much I'd say I'd listen to.
I get
It's fun.
exactly what you mean. What do you say, Calvin?
Love Hackle.
Yeah.
What was that?
It's fun to dive deep into. You just find a lot of niche artists from that.
That's
Stream.
true. I feel like that's with anything though. Like when I first
Yeah.
found hyperpop, I found Osquin, and then it kind of went into like deeper. It was like finding like Saturn and shit.
Like I found some artists. Like it's just I've like listened to like other artists, like smaller artists. There's just none that really like caught my attention significantly. Like or though what is it? It's one of my mutuals, Daphne. I think like Nightmare. I forget her artist name, but like she's like the production in that insane. I do have to give credit for that. Is like all the producers in it are ridiculous.
Ridiculously talented, and all these samples they take from like old ass shoegaze songs.
Yeah.
Fucking boom.
You know, it's cool shit.
Did you see Cemetery at Summer Smash?
Yeah, I did. That was really cool. I got I was like one row from barricade from it. I like showed off my Hackle shirt to Hackle, and he pointed at it, so that was really cool.
Hell yeah, shout
But it
out.
was just cool to like see it in general. It was a cool
Yeah.
concert.
Do you see
I mean, not
Jared's
concert set. I did, yeah. I had barricade for him.
Dude,
I had barricade for basically the tent all 3 days.
That's fucking fire.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Because a lot of the
No, my favorite.
come through there. And then they fucking
Yeah.
canceled Cray.
Yeah, no, I was so pissed about that.
I would have been too. I mean,
Fucking
Uno's
Uno the
fire.
activist instead. He did pretty solid though. Like I'll give Uno credit. It was a pretty fun set.
Did you play like some of his older shit or was it like all newer shit?
It was mostly new stuff.
It's understandable. He went like a whole different route with his sound.
Yeah, like he's on like that rage stuff now.
I think it's good, but his roots are way better.
I just don't listen to it, so I have no clue about it, honestly.
I get it for sure. How do you feel about like, I don't know, just the impact of like all of the TikTok shit? I feel like TikTok has made a lot of underground, like the whole base around it.
I think it's interesting. I think it's like ultimately been for the better. It's helped it like blow up. It's helped like a lot of artists get to like a bigger platform. But I do think like the culture around a lot of the underground stuff like really does suck. Is very consumerist. Is very like focused on like getting as much of the product like to the consumer without much care for the artist.
You meet
And like it was that
you meet these people and they're like into different kinds of music and they act exactly like how their favorite rapper does on Instagram.
Mhm.
And it's just the influence that everything is betrayed and like I don't know, everything is just different than it was. Like I don't know. I feel like Yeet and Autumn and Summers in 2021. 2021, that whole year changed a lot of stuff for the underground. That was like,
Mhm.
I think it brought a lot of stuff back for sure.
Mhm.
I agree.
You know, I really just started getting into underground stuff like as I was like making content. Like I've really like I've only been into it in like past year.
Oh yeah.
So I
Would you listen
kind
to
of just
before
like
that?
mainly like just a lot of like just like the general like Fantano core and like artsy like rap stuff I'd say was like a lot of like my big stuff went through a like
Joey
a
Badass?
phase. Not as much. I'd say like JPEG Mafia, Denzel Curry, City Morgue,
Hell yeah.
like that kind of side.
How do you feel about City More breaking up?
They're back together, are they not? They're on tour with
yeah,
Grey Day.
I thought this was like their last
That
tour. They always say it's their last tour and then they come back.
you know, it was their last tour, and then they did the Grey Day tour. I don't know.
It's just very confusing. Who do you think is the better out of the two?
I mean, probably Zillakami. Like he's probably the more versatile, but I don't know. I think so. Smolia has his own thing.
Like in terms of like Zilla's solo work, how do you feel about it?
It's all right. It's cool. Some of it's cool stuff,
Did you like
but
Dog Boy?
it was cool. Like it, not like particularly like wasn't like my number one favorite.
Yeah,
Didn't really hate it. I felt pretty indifferent about it.
I get what you mean. What do you like? Is there any like albums that you just like hate?
Just not really. I honestly like. I'd say like for the most part, like I generally like most music or like generally try to enjoy it. Like I'd say that obviously like I'd say I'm pretty critical in terms of like not being like very high on music.
Yeah.
But I'm not like critical in the terms of like I can usually like vibe or like find enjoyment in most music.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's your favorite Claire song?
Fuck, what's it called? The only reason I can't think of the one that is actually my favorite, but Flawless is really solid. That was the one that like really got me into him.
I like Apathy.
hmm
What do
You know, he's a really cool artist. It was a really cool meet. I met him at the Hyperpop Daily game. He's a pretty cool person.
Yeah, he seems like very laid back and just chill.
You know, it was just like a quick dap, so I haven't really had too much interaction with him, but he seems chill person.
Yeah, that would have been
Yeah.
just dabbed up. Yeah, for sure. What got you to like make your account and start building your platform? Like, what made you like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this?
I was just bored as hell. Like I'm up at Penn State, where it's in the middle. It's literally in the middle of nowhere, And so there really wasn't like much going on at the time. So I just figured rather than just sitting around in my dorm, might as well start making videos as well. And so I would. Was that?
It works. You know?
And so I just started making videos about like old SoundCloud stuff. And then that started getting momentum. So then I just carried it into like reviewing like underground artists, like got into High C, got into Yabujin, got into Metro Zoo. And like just as my For You page, as I was making more and more music stuff, I got more music stuff in my For You page. And so the artists I started fucking with on there that like I noticed had somewhat of followings, I just started like following them and then like making videos about them. And then they ended up following me back, reposting.
Yeah.
And then I just basically did that all the way up through like different pages, through like different like individual creators. And then had the little and then I think I had the little Cedo video blow up, which really that's what really got me like the most. I think that got me the most followers.
He's from where
What's that?
He's from where I live. Like he's like lives like 2 cities away from me.
That's funny. And so yeah, that video I think now got like 1 million now.
Wow.
Then that's my biggest video to date.
Wow. That's
and then then just basically continued on, made the filters and whatever today.
How long does that usually take you? Like, let's say, like, make one filter.
Pretty quick. It just depends because I have to convert all the file. I just basically, it's just a template. It's nothing like too hard for me to do. So all I do is just have to download it. So depending on like if how many images are WebP and how many are the actual file format I need, probably like 30-ish to 45 minutes. Depend like with all the time, just because it's a slow program. And Effect House sucks to use. It's so laggy.
It sounds like you do. I mean, you're pumping out a lot of filters as of recent, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to slow down on it and like really give time to like just promote one and like then push the other ones. Because I think I burnt it out a little bit with that one, and I needed to have more variance, I'd say, in the posting of them. So I'm definitely gonna do variance with the future filters. Just wanted to take a little break on it, leave it like a week or two to breathe.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's nice to scope out sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you like Lil Sean?
He's cool, definitely. I like the last album, Losing Myself, was pretty solid.
It was pretty good. I think it was like, in terms of last year, I think it was like a top 15 in terms of underground.
Probably. I don't know. I don't really. Yeah. No, it definitely is.
How'd you get into Acid Soldier? This is a good question.
So I'd say I'd been just like seeing him, like I found him on like an Octi, featured on like an Octi project. Seen him on like some Shadow Wizard stuff. And then I met this one girl at Summer Smash, and like she was talking about like how much she liked Acid Soldier and like talking about how she liked the one project. So I was like, fuck it, let me react to him for a stream. And then ended up liking him that stream, and I've just been listening to him a ton since that reaction.
Every day I just go on Spotify and I hit the play button and I just let it fucking any song. What's your favorite Acid Soldier song?
I'd say Incel or the intro to Based Boy Billionaire. I've just been bumping that album, honestly.
Me too. I feel like he definitely could be like the next thing in the underground. Like, you know how Xavier Sobase just had that whole rise. Like,
he definitely could have like a wave in like the underground stuff. I just like struggle to see his sound and aesthetic break through to him any mainstream level.
Yeah, I agree.
but he doesn't need to.
Yeah, he's chilling with where he's at. Did you see that he beefed with Ronnie Radke?
What?
Yeah, he beefed with Ronnie. He posted a tweet. I was scrolling through Twitter. He posted a tweet, and it's Falling in Reverse, his new song, and he like quote tweets it, and he's like, "I will be the first rapper to beat the shit out of Ronnie Radke," and then Ronnie Radke DM'd him, and he was like, "What's your name and your address?" And they just kept beefing, and I guess
oh my god,
he does that with a lot of people. His like TikTok is like just doing that to like multiple people. Doxing like teenage girls. Like, I guess that's how you get off, man.
Yeah, you gotta have a hobby.
Yeah, you gotta have a hobby when your band is sounding like shit. This music is
They're the
dead.
band that just does like the speed rap shit, right?
Yeah, they're like metal, but it's like speed rap.
Yeah, and it's like ah!
Yeah,
Like that
yeah,
shit.
yeah, that shit. Very like ADHD style music, I would say. And like he's dating like former WWE women's wrestler Paige, which I find very fucking weird.
He's AEW, right?
Oh yeah, she's Sarai in AEW now. Yeah, fucking. Yeah, I just find that because they like kind of like look alike, not like siblings look alike, but they definitely match each other's aesthetic. But like in terms of personality, she's like very nice, and he's like very. I don't fuck with on
Him.
your head, Key.
Yeah, bro.
Did you grow up watching like WWE and shit and wrestling?
Not as much, like mainly like YouTube clips and stuff. I say just really got into them to like this past year, not even year, past like 2 months. It's
What's your
just
favorite company right now?
WWE. I've just been watching them really.
Did you watch Money in the Bank?
Yeah, no, that was a ton of fun. I fell asleep like halfway through it, but other than that, like it was really good.
Do you think they made the right choice?
I think so. I mean, I would have loved to see Logan Paul. I think it would have been hilarious to see people melt down. I think it could have set up a ton of fucking drama. It would have been the most suspenseful fucking briefcase. Because everyone is just going to be on the edge of their seat hoping that Logan Paul doesn't fucking cash in on their favorite dude.
Yeah, and he's not one of the champions.
And like, honestly, like, I already had in my head that I'd wanted to see him have Logan Paul win Money in the Bank, have him cash it in and have it be successful in Austin Theory. And then after that, like, let LA Knight turn face and allow him to basically beef with Logan Paul and then take that belt from him.
LA Knight.
And you could have that, I don't know, set it up wherever you want. You could have set up
like
Logan Paul to lose it at. It could be a shorter one. It could be one that's a bit shorter, or you could stretch it out honestly all the way to next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, I just think Logan very in ring in terms of like in ring like performance. He's definitely a very good wrestler.
Yeah,
He fucking.
and I think his
moves,
personality,
like,
yeah,
very good. Like he's
yeah.
very good in the ring, but his personality definitely is like made for WWE too. Like he's like kind of problematic, and the whole like
He's just so hateable.
yeah.
I just think his hateability makes him such a perfect heel.
Exactly.
Like everything about him, the way he got in the company, the way he blew up as an influencer, the way he acts, like everything about him is just set up to be fucked, and it's so perfect.
Why I don't get why they signed him is because of the whole crypto zoo thing. You think that would be like a liability for the company?
Oh, no one really cares about that. Like, I mean, it definitely sucks. At the end of the day, it was just like it was a crypto scam. Like,
yeah.
I feel like I can only feel bad for people who bought into a crypto scam.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for them. It's fucking weird, bro. Like, I don't know why.
I can only care so much and like invest so much into something like that. Like, it's definitely probably fucked, but at the same time, bro, you're buying into crypto shit. Like, you low key deserve it just for being involved in that space in the first place.
When do you like Logan Paul crypto is not a good idea. Do not get the Logan Paul crypto. I think LA Knight.
Yeah, that was his second scam too. That was his second scam. Yeah, if you bought into that one, you deserved it. I'm sorry.
It was his second scam. I remember this. But he's just both of the Paul brothers. I think Jake is very. I don't know. He doesn't fight boxers, and when he does fight boxers, he gets fucking laid out. He fights a lot of UFC.
No, I thought he was undefeated.
He fought Tommy Fury's son. Or not Tommy Fury, fucking Tyson Fury's son, Tommy Fury. He fought him, and Tommy Fury knocked him out. Or not, you didn't knock him out. They went to like decision, and Tommy won in decision.
Damn.
Yeah, but he was defeated for a while. But he was fighting like Nate Robinson, the basketball player.
Yeah, no, I know about like all those ones.
Yeah, that one was fucking like everybody was memeing on Nate Robinson, and it's like he was a fucking like basketball player that was known for being like fucking like short, but he won 3 dunk competitions. I think he won 3 dunk competitions. I'm pretty sure.
I have no clue.
But fucking yeah, it's just weird. Like in both of their like rises to fame. Like I remember being like 10 years old on YouTube, seeing it's every day, bro. And I remember I watched the Suicide Forest video, like when it came out, and I was tripping about that.
That's crazy. That's still such a weird time.
Oh my god! And he's like filming it, and it's like, what, bro?
And I never watched the video, but I remember that whole controversy. That was a wild time.
It was definitely a wild time. How do you feel about Rice Gum?
I mean, he's an old youth. Like, he's doing his thing now. He's just kind of chilling. Like, I never
That's
thought he
chilling.
like he never represented anything like particularly good, and he's not spreading
Yeah.
like the best message ever.
I think
So,
he started
I mean,
this
like,
whole, like, I don't know. I think he pioneered the Lil Pump like flexor wave.
I mean, I think I was giving him way too much credit.
Yeah.
I really, I think he,
definitely was not a good thing, but I think he was.
you know, like
I
I just think he was. I think he was just like any other dude. It's just the fact that he got popular off of it.
think in terms of commentary channels, he was like the worst. There was very like there's like I don't know. His content was very like make fun of kids on TikTok.
I mean, it felt pretty standard for its
Yeah.
time. Like I don't really hold any. Like, I mean,
cool.
it definitely sucks. Like, it's just like
Didn't
it was
he take
just
part in
he's
the
just a
scam,
human.
too?
I'm sure. Oh yeah, he did
Save
the fucking like
Kids
loot
crypto
box
thing.
thing.
The Save the Kids crypto
Oh yeah.
thing. Fucking fake clan members.
Like that's what I mean. Like that whole. He's just another streamer in that whole space. Like someone came in and filled in his void perfectly fine, and that's why I really don't hold much
I
against
think
him
if
because he's
Aiden
just a
Ross
cog in the wheel.
If Aiden
I mean,
Ross
in
took
this.
it off Twitch, he definitely could have been like the next like person who brought in rappers and like made them big, you know? Like kind of like what Tommy Craze did with Lil Loaded for a while.
Not, I don't think Aiden Ross ever had the personality or the idea for that. I don't think he ever cared about actually doing any of that. I just think he felt cool bringing on rappers, bringing on artists,
Yeah,
like, and bringing on people he looked up to. I think he liked like the platform, and I didn't really like. When you look at a majority of the content creators who are like blowing up in the general music space, who are like praised about or like who collaborate in it, like while they do enjoy, they do appreciate, and they do respect the artists, they're not as much caring about the scenes as much about the like upcoming artists and like the future and what's like to come from it. They just really care about like as much like just the end product. Like whoever like X next poppin' rapper they can get on that like they enjoy.
yeah.
It's not to speak against it because like that we need that. Like we need that in the content space. Like the people like that are always gonna exist. It's just that like I just would really love to see more like music focused creators like in those positions in those spaces that actually care about the music and aren't also just like pumping out the most generic boring shit or like filling audience, creating a massively fucking transphobic audience like 99% of the creators in this underground space have.
Shit is really weird. That shit was really weird. And he came out and said there was like two genders and shit. It was just really
Who did?
weird. Aiden Ross, he came out and said there was like
Oh
two
yeah,
genders.
that shit.
But I don't know, when he first started coming up, I was tuning into his streams like early when he first started coming up, and like when he was having rappers on and stuff. But I think as he kept losing things, like he ended up like you said, he would have rappers on because he thought he was cool. But as he kept losing things, he would bring more and more on. Like he lost his girlfriend, he starts hanging out with a bunch of adult film stars and like making out with them on camera.
I've never really watched anyone in the live stream space really.
Yeah, I think they're all like, there's not a lot of uniqueness anymore, and like the whole like kick and rumble thing happened now. So
That's weird.
it
Weird
is
shit.
very weird, very weird, and all the problematic people are going on to different platforms. Like Leafy has like an active platform now, and that's crazy.
Oh, is he back?
Yeah, his pinned tweet on his Twitter right now is like, "I don't support trans people."
That's crazy. I did not realize that I was not expecting a Leafy comeback in 2023. That is hilarious.
You have to make a video, bro. It's fucking crazy.
Fuck no, I'm not. I'm not giving that any more attention. Like that is the one thing I will.
He sounds like he's on like really bad Adderall. Like he's like fucking talking really fast, and he's like, "Fuck, bro." Yeah, I just been hearing about him a lot because he started beefing with Adam22. Cause the whole like the thing where Adam22 is like doing, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay. I was making sure that you knew, because I don't want to say it like on stream, but you know what I was talking about. And everybody's like getting on his ass about it, and like Leafy, like I think that he posted his marriage, and Leafy like quote tweeted, and he was like, "Can I have a turn?" And Adam22 was like, "No fucking way, Leafy just said this on my Twitter feed."
No, I mean that's a pretty fair response. I can't lie.
It's just, I would have been appalled too if fucking Leafy said something to me like, "What the fuck?"
I wouldn't have been appalled. I've just been like, what the fuck? Leafy exists in 2023.
It's there's so many people like that. Like the whole commentary space just kind of like slowly like died, and or they branched off into different things. Like
Well, they YouTube cracked down on it a little bit more, and they just weren't able to monetize the same. The
yeah,
adpocalypse really killed a lot of those channels.
like Quackity, like Quackity
He
was
switched.
able to switch up his whole like personality and become like fucking amazingly rich off of it.
Like the one isn't like the biggest like bilingual streamer or something.
Yeah, I think
Something crazy like that.
yeah, which is fucking crazy because I remember watching him in like 2016 and being like, "Oh, this guy's funny." You know, that's all I thought about him. I think
All
he's
this like all this like free game raid stuff.
yeah, I thought his channel was pretty good. There was definitely a lot of channels in that scene around that time that were doing like good things, like Grade A Under A. His
He
ego's
was doing
very weird.
horrible things.
He's no, his ego's definitely very weird, but I think his content was definitely like it shaped a lot of YouTube. Like Odd Ones Out would not have existed except for him, and all the animation channels that tell stories, like the swoozy kind of content.
I don't think Grade. I think the Grade A was just like a. It's like it was
He's
a
a shit
was like
person.
no, it was like a shit stain in terms of like that animation part. I don't think he was like that influential or opened the door up for those people as much. Just because like the animation side, fucking stems all the way back to the fucking like early 2000s shit of like with what's it called, Newgrounds.
Newgrounds,
Like
yeah.
it stems all the way back to Newgrounds when you're talking about like YouTube animation.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's like a certain like there was like a certain kind of content where he'd like ramp, but it's like a little animated character, and like I
Yeah.
don't know, a lot of people really weren't doing that until he started doing it. I'm not saying that they're like clones or anything, but I think he definitely there's a lot of people who like definitely aren't good, but they pioneered a lot of things. Like Keemstar, fucking shit person, but he did like probably a lot of things for the community. Like Drama Alert has a lot of like crazy moments that wouldn't have existed. Like the whole beef where like Frank Hassel almost got shot by Boogie 2908, like that was fucking crazy.
But I just think like shit like that would have happened with like any other blog. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think it's like as particular or like we talk about like Grade A Under A, like he really didn't like revolutionize. He was just kind of like the guy who got popular off of. Like I
Yeah,
think when you look at it, like I think it was like ranting and animation like was a format that was like bound to take off eventually.
that's
Like
true.
I
I
just
can see
don't
that.
like I just think like giving credit to a dude like a Grade A Under A for something like that is like kind of just like I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I definitely don't support him. Like, I'm not like watching all his fucking videos, but I think that he had something like, cause I thought his voice was kind of annoying personally, but that was just
Or I used to watch just that scene. Shit was so weird. Weird times.
he was the very weird times. There's a lot of things you could post on the internet and get away with, like the weird kids channels.
Hmm.
They were like kids channels, but they would post very inappropriate themes.
They
Yeah.
still, it's still a thing.
The internet is definitely like growing to be, I don't know. Sometimes I think it's like getting better, and then shit like Underground Base God happens,
Hmm.
and it's like,
Well, I mean, shit. Like, I mean, there's always like the worst of people. There's always the best in people. Like shit, like underground bass god and whatever like that is always gonna happen. But like, if you like, definitely like calling that shit out when you see it, and like just putting more of the attention, more of the energy into like focusing on the positive stuff, into like making those connections, and like doing a lot of that other stuff. That's what I found has like at least really helped me with like a lot of my content creation and like really like staying on track with that and like making sure to like not try and fall into like any negativity or like beef ruts
yeah,
and
I've
like
never
steer
seen
clear
you
of that
talk about
stuff.
anybody and like straight up say somebody's music was ass. Like I've never seen this. I mean, you probably have, you know, but everybody does it. It doesn't make you a bad person. But you seem
Well, I
like
mean, yeah,
you
no.
seem
I
like a
mean,
very
I
positive
think the music,
force.
you know, I just think the like music is an ass thing. I think most people like I just don't find it necessary to be posting about like negative music. Like I think like when you're talking about like people posting music, like going out of your way to post negative stuff when there's probably so much other stuff out there that you like is just really like unneeded. And like
Yeah,
it's just like again like just all about like spending the energy in the right places because I feel like too many like content creators, too many pages are like spending all their energy into like just trying to get engagement rather than actually building a community. And I think what people forget is that when you chase engagement, like while you do definitely get the bigger numbers and you can get bigger checks, you can do like a lot of that mobility.
hmm
You don't have like that same community. You don't have that same stability if you really focus on the art, if you focus on the music and like building that stuff up.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Do you think that the underground lacks creativity at all?
A bit, yeah. I mean, I think it's like really. I think when you look at like a lot of the underground culture, when you look at a lot of the underground like political, like majority of the people in this scene are like conservative or Republican and aren't open to a lot of new, interesting, and weird ideas.
This
And
is
when you just look at that as like a base level, like most of the underground isn't creative people, isn't people who care about the art, isn't people who care about the culture of the music or a lot of that stuff. And while this isn't to discredit the people who definitely do, because there are plenty of people who do that stuff, when you look at like a wide majority of the people who are like buying the promo, like getting pushed by some of these pages, like you can just tell with their sound, you can tell with like the effort they put into that they're like not really focused on the music and just want the success from it.
I get exactly what you mean, or they aren't trying to be original and they're just like biting too many people or trying to ride the wave too hard. I
Because
think
I
a
do
lot of
think there is,
people, there's a lot of copy and paste artists for sure.
but I do think there is also on the other hand something to be said that a lot of like newer artists don't give the chance to develop, don't get the chance to blossom, and they're just expected to be like fully developed artists like from the get-go and have everything perfect. And I think the underground, like the biggest issue right now is that everything just lacks a lot of context when talking about careers, when talking about music, and when talking about like albums in general. Like they really don't understand of like how like crazy like something is to do something at like a certain age or to like have these projects out like at this point or like do all these things. When you look at how like some of the top underground artists are like so young, it's just like give them time to grow up
Yeah,
before you fucking tear down shit.
fucking 10, 20 years ago, I'll tell you, there was not a bunch of up and coming young ass rappers.
Dude,
You know,
just
like
yeah,
people are changing, becoming like prodigies and shit, and it's
dude, just
because
go to 2016 even. Like go 5 6 years ago. Like you weren't having like the average artist age like of the underground be like 18, 19.
the first like
18
when
under, I
there
mean.
was a kid rap when there was kid rappers, that was like their whole thing, is that they were a kid rapper. Like
Yeah,
Maddox,
like
like he grew up being like, this is the kid that raps hard as fuck.
yeah, no, like him and Doo-Wop Kane really set that lane for a lot of younger artists to really be taken seriously and like people to receive the music and not just write it off because of their age.
I agree 100%. He was very influential for a lot of things. I think he's like definitely one of the top like dogs of the underground in terms of staying with
Hmm.
it and not like switching up just for fame.
Yeah, no,
Like
100%.
he was working with
Like
Pierre and shit when he was like 16, 17, and he's still not, like, he's
Chief
humble as
Keef
fuck.
at like 13.
Yeah, he's humble as fuck, bro, and he's dope. And I think he definitely, like, everybody like sometimes says like he's not doing as good as he used to. We want old Dua. I think he makes very good music, and he will always make very good music.
I haven't really listened to him much. Doo-Wop. I've listened to a bit of Ox though.
Like, it's pretty
I
good.
haven't gotten into Maddox at all. Is Maddox good?
He's pretty solid. I mean, it's all right stuff. Fucking cars, Jesus.
I seen that he had the show with DJ Smokey.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. He brought out. I think he was like with Shed Theory too. They had them open up, so that was really
Shed
cool.
Theory, yeah. Yeah, Shed Theory is I've looked at every single artist in Shed Theory, and there's not like one artist that lacks originality in my opinion.
I haven't gotten that deep in it. Just Marlon and Joey, really.
Marlon is very. I think Marlon could be like the next, like, I don't know, his view in music and like everything that he does is like so different. I think
Oh, it's really cool.
the
It's
aspect of
everything
nature
about
in
it's so
his
cool.
music, like you can see a lot of nature. Like if you like listen to his music and like look at the ceiling and just picture like the forest and shit, it matches perfectly. And I think his visuals like represent that a lot too in his music videos.
You know, everything about it is just so beautiful.
For sure. And the fact that the shed is like based off of like literally an IRL shed is crazy.
That's really funny.
It's really like it's really cool. Like it shows that a lot of people, like, you don't have to be like made for success. Anybody can do anything. I definitely think that like that line has been crossed so long ago. Like people were scared to make weird ass music for a really long time. Like there was definitely like scenes of weird music, but like it just like now there's like so many different genres for like think how many different genres of plug there are.
Well, I think that gets a bit overstated. I think a lot of them you can really just boil it down to like plug in, dark plug.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's like everybody makes like different shit. I think that everybody tries when a genre comes out, everybody tries to make their own little niche genre out of it, and I think sometimes it's really cool.
I just don't think genres come out as often as people think. I think like the term genre is just so overused and has lost its meaning, and that like anytime there's just an aesthetic spun onto a sound, or like it's just like one like stylistic difference in terms of like the melody, that
Yeah,
it automatically like warrants an entire new genre name.
I
I don't
think
know.
we should
I've
just
seen a ton of people like promo it on TikTok, so maybe I'm just tired of that. But like I just feel like anytime anyone does a song that they just haven't heard before, when it's probably been done like mass amount of times by other people.
I think a lot of times they do it just so they can like, get the TikTok thing. It's
The
like
engagement bait.
like, did I just make a new genre? Shit like
Mm,
that.
yeah,
And
fair
people
enough.
will cling on to that than just posting the video. I don't really understand like what catches people's eyes nowadays. Like sometimes like even like when making music, like sometimes the songs that I make that like I feel like I did in like 5 minutes or I didn't really take my time on it, the ones I take off, and I feel like that's very like the same thing for videos. Like watched a lot of interviews, people were like, yeah, I worked super hard on this video and it like fucked up, didn't do that well. But this video I made in
Hmm.
like 5 minutes about like funny hyper pop shit blew up
Hmm.
and got like 1 million views, and it's like, yeah,
Well,
it's
it's
just
just putting effort in like the right ways. Like you can like put however much time into like certain things, but like you just have to really understand where to put that effort into.
for sure.
Like I'm like at least like when I make sure with like my videos, if I'm doing like the serious ones, like those like longer like those who is ones, like I'm just
Yeah,
gonna make sure like I'm just gonna bite the bullet on it and like understand, hey, this probably like isn't gonna get the most views, but I'm just gonna try and cater the best I can to like that audience that is going to connect with it. And I think people try and like focus on having way too much mass appeal when instead they really need to like individualize and hyperfixate on like a specific like audience or a specific like demographic. And then as that like really blows up, as that catches on in like that demographic, it will eventually spread out and you just kind of have to trust.
yeah, that's a very like that's like the best way you could put it, honestly.
Mhm. So I think a lot of people are just like way too focused on blowing up in the biggest way possible and having like the biggest possible numbers instead of having like maybe smaller numbers but like more money behind those numbers. Like people willing to buy a T-shirt, people willing to buy physical tickets or like go out of their way to see you. Like having those real connections with that stuff.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah. Do you
I
think the
agree.
Eid sound is
So
dead, like the rage sound? Do you think it's dead?
I mean, not. I don't think like any sound is like ever dead. Technically, it's just a matter of like how you do it. I think a lot of like people have gotten uncreative with it, and I think like it's like definitely like there's like I think it's just like overall like just people getting uncreative with it more than like the genre dying.
Yeah, for sure. What would like give me like an example of a genre you'd say is like dead, never gonna come back?
I honestly can't really say with fucking TikTok. It seems like, with, I mean, not even just TikTok, but like general social media and like internet, like every subgenre in existence is always accessible as long as it's on the internet. Like, there's gonna be someone who's gonna like find it eventually. Like,
Yeah,
I like definitely like there'll be ups and downs, and I don't think like you're gonna see the like old X sounds or whatever, or like as many of those like old like Suicide Boys sounds like really dominate the same way that they used to. Sure,
but they still
but like
exist.
they're fucking going on tour in Madison Square Garden. Like
Yeah,
I think you could easily argue that their sound definitely fell off. Their sound's a bit dead, but
something's happening. Something's going on.
something like you know, what I mean, there's still something around it. There's still
Yeah,
money there. There's still people who like. There's still. I mean, I guess it's not dead since there's still people who listen to it,
yeah.
but like it hasn't evolved massively.
I never really understood the appeal in Suicide Boys. Like, if people like them, I think it's cool. But personally, I never really understood the appeal in terms of like X and Ski.
I,
I thought they were far superior.
I used to listen to some Suicide Boys. It was pretty at the time.
Their sample
Appreciate
game
it
is
for what it
weird. I will
was.
say this: their sample game is really good, but their flow is just
Mhm.
not for me.
I
Yeah,
agree.
no, it's very choir.
Very acquired. Yes, that's a very good way to
Hmm.
put it. I think for sure. Have you like dived into like Quantic and stuff?
To who?
Quanic.
I don't know who that is.
Made fucking Life Imitates Life. It's been like blowing up on TikTok.
No clue.
That's good. Have you dived into any shoegaze music?
No.
I mean, if you don't like, I don't know. Have you heard like sounds?
I've heard some of like I've heard like some shoegaze stuff or whatever, but I haven't really heard much else.
I think it's like probably one of the most like unique genres, and it's starting to get picked up by like the hyperpop people who used to make hyperpop and like digicore are making it now, and it's like pushing the genre into like crazy heights. I think it's really cool.
Gotcha.
Like yeah, I don't know. The hyperpop scene is another thing that everybody thought it was dead, and people are like, there's just really unique artists in the scene. Like Kamo is probably like the most unique in the scene in my eyes. And like Kamo's another one. Like he was just a fucking kid, and then he started producing for like Slay World and all these crazy people. And there's so many people that can like do that now. Like Majins was like 13 when he blew up.
Yeah.
That's just
Clappers.
crazy. Clappers, yeah. I want to interview Clappers. I feel like that'd be very interesting because he's only like 14, 15 now, right?
Something like that.
It's crazy how that whole thing happened too, because the dude who shot the video for him, like, I don't know, it was like a TikTok trend, I think, behind that whole thing too. Everything is so like media based. Like, there's literally just like a dude who walks around or like goes up to rappers and like, can I make a music video for you in like 5 minutes?
And the scripted videos.
Yeah, they're very scripted. He like goes up to like a rapper, and the security guards are just like watching him do it. Like,
yeah, no.
the very scripted.
Jesus.
Let me give you a music video in 5 minutes. Videos, yeah. There's a lot of I'm glad the fucking gay son or thought daughter died out. I'm really glad that died out. That whole brand of content where they'd go up.
That's still alive. That's always alive, man.
Yeah, but
it's
not as big as it was in like, let's say, like 2018.
Yeah, fair enough. But I think like it just got covered more. I don't think it was ever like I think that type of content will like always stay at the size it was. I think it's just like a matter of like people memeing it, and then people like started paying attention to it, and then people stopped memeing it, and it returned to the normal amount of views.
I agree. There was a resurgence of it on TikTok too, with high school kids with like iPhone mics. I thought that was kind of lame, and like they'd like ask like people who they knew were gonna give like weird. They'd ask like kids who they thought were like weird kids, like weird questions. Like, I don't know, it came off like bullying and stuff. Like they'd ask
kids
kids
do that
who, like,
with social media.
Like, yeah, they've always done that for social media. Like the fucking, I used to see it in school all the time too. Like
I remember.
There was this group of girls who used to always go up to like all the like, I don't know, I don't want to say like special ed kids, but like they were just kind of like, you could tell there was like, you know, something not right there, because like and they would go up to him and like ask him out just to like fucking piss him off and shit.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, everybody does that to exploit it, and it's weird.
You know, it's weird jokes.
Really weird jokes. And fucking popularity complexes are still like everywhere, like in the fucking underground scene. It's very prominent. People use numbers all the time. Post your insights, gang. Like, bro, it's like a common phrase that's said like millions of times a day. I wouldn't say millions. I say like probably like close to like a good group of people say that to people on a daily basis.
Oh shit! Now.
Has anybody like texted you and like been like, you need to listen to my music now, and it's just like not like it's just really like mediocre?
I'm sure. Like I've had like plenty of like, I don't really listen to too much like DM. I don't really get many DMs, honestly. Like people like tell me to listen. Like my DMs are pretty chill, so I don't really like have to run into that. Like I've had people like do like the spam promo, but I just don't open that. Like most like music that I've taken the time to like actually like open and like listen to, because it's been pretty decent. But I would say I vet my DMs pretty well.
That's good. That's good. You've never gotten into like any controversies or like beef or anything, right?
Really?
That's good. That's good. I don't think you're really in a position where you like kind of can or have to like anybody. Who
Yeah,
like,
no,
do bad
I'm not
music,
in.
it would make
I'm
them look bad.
I'm not in. I'm also just not making the content to really like set myself up for anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I just try and like stay. I just try and stay in my lane with
You're
like
not
stuff.
openly saying like this project sucks. I like this project. Like
Yeah,
in a position like that, I think you can definitely get a lot of hate from rappers. When you're straight
you
up
know.
saying like it's a piece of music that they worked on. If you don't like it, like that's why Anthony Fantano, like everybody just doesn't like him because like I don't know. I don't think they understand like when you rate a destroy only like a 2 or whatever.
Yeah, people just look at the number and don't look at the actual review with it. That's the thing with Fantano, is he gives a number with the review at least. So many of these like fucking TikTok pages, so many of these other people who are like debating about music shit, like they just have a blind number with like no reasoning, with no validation for it other than number.
Yeah, and like people don't also realize it's also just his ears. Like he's not saying that nobody can listen to this. It's like unlistenable. He just doesn't like it.
Hmm.
And like nobody understands that. I think that his review is like the epitome of everything.
He even says his review is just his opinion.
Yeah, like there's been several rappers who wrote like a horrible Fantano review and went on to have like very successful careers.
And who still fuck with him too.
Kid Cudi got like a 0 on one of his projects.
Well, that was after he like had already been successful.
Yeah.
Like that was after Man on the Moon and other
I know, but
projects.
I'm just saying, like, it's not the end of the world. Some people take it like really to heart, or they think of Fantano as like some god or something. And he's literally just some dude who sits in his room and does exactly what we're doing right now. But he just
Yeah.
music. I think that I don't know the whole like I don't know, and this shit is just like I was in a very different section of the underground when like Slay World started to come up. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you know like Koi. That's
No.
he's fucking good. I was into like the very mainstreamy kind of sounding underground stuff because I was kind of like slowly diving into it. I was very into like I was very into like 2018 Lil Tracy and Snot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I really don't know much about Slay World and stuff, but
And
everybody
the same
knows.
here.
Was it like I don't know? Let me ask Hell Heaven. Let me ask Calvin here. Do you think Slay World was like the opening to like what was Slay World? Because I feel like you've seen it in its entirety.
Man, Slay World. It started a lot with not plug music in general, but like it was a new like generation of where plug music like started.
Yeah.
Like I want to say there was like times before that, with Doo-Wop Kane, everybody else before that, but really you can tell like they were at the forefront of this new sound that came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it started right there.
Gotcha.
Like, because only members I know is it's Can, Autumn Summers, and Wyland, but I feel like there was more, right?
Like Yeet, Desire.
Oh yeah, Yeet was associated with them. Fuck.
Yeah,
the
Rock was bigger.
He was on there too. I want to say Cash Bentley.
Yeah, I don't really know. That's all I know up to.
Yeah, bro. Fuck. That was a. Yeah, if they had all of those, then yeah, they're definitely very influential.
How that Cashways when I started. Oh my god.
Cashways.
Remember that? Oh my god.
Like, was that like what was that? Remind me of
It was like
Cashways.
Army
Yeah,
and
okay, that's what I was thinking it was, but I didn't want to say that. And he had that one dude who faked being kidnapped one time for clout.
Oh, Young Smiley.
Yep, they had Young Smiley, and that's the only person I knew that was in Cashways. It was Young Smiley.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck away from that shit. It was a scary time.
Cashways. What's your opinion on Cash Omni?
I don't know. I haven't listened to him honestly. He seems like a cool dude, I guess.
Yeah, he seems like a cool dude.
Probably grab lunch with him.
Grab lunch with Cash Omni. I think that'd be an interesting experience for sure.
Next
What do you think? Who's one person that if you could sit down and have a meal with them and just like speak to them, who would you have a meal
Like
with?
artist or like just anyone?
Just anyone.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably just take fucking Denzel Curry just because I've loved him for a bit. He seems like a fun personality.
He's very fun personality. He's funny.
No, he's funny as hell.
His cave episode.
He seems like he has good taste too. I think like he knows good.
Does. I want to sit down and have a talk with Young Lean for sure.
Mhm.
That'd be
What's
cool. Who would you have a talk with, Calvin? Bro, pieced as I said that. What the fuck just happened?
No clue.
But
back?
what happened?
Mom walked in.
Oh, but who would you sit down and have a meal with?
Bro, yeet. Honestly,
What would
Can't,
you say
bro.
to you? How would you have a conversation with you?
We
'Cause
would-
I feel
we
like
would
he's a
be-
hard person to talk to.
we will be stuffing our faces with what's it called? The candy. What's it called? The fucking candy. The candy. What's it called?
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy. There you go. Cotton candy. He fucking loves cotton candy. I've seen he's bought like 3 pounds of cotton candy from this lady.
What? This is a known
Yeah.
thing that he does?
Yeah,
Buys
you didn't see that. There was like this one lady. He like bought out her watermelon cotton candy when he was on tour.
yeah, bought like pounds on pounds on that shit.
That's really funny. I think I'm gonna be honest. I think we're gonna end the interview here. But I think this was like
Yeah.
one of the like best interviews we've done.
Yeah, thank you.
It's very because you have like the same like you're in the same kind of like areas. That's like we interview people, but we make like other forms of content too. So it was just interesting to connect with somebody that was on the same like shit as us and like wasn't coming from like a place where they're making music. Like you're just a listener.
As a consumer as well.
As a consumer, yeah.
No,
Hell yeah, but
100%.
yeah, it was a great stream. Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, no, and and if for anyone on your end, I'm gonna be still going through reaction to albums and stuff after we finish this up. If you guys want to hop in.
Hell yeah, bro. Fuck yeah, I got you. We'll hop in the stream. I'm actually down to watch this. I want to see this.
I'll watch this.
Bet, bro. So yeah, just if you could post a link on your story, I'd appreciate it.
No, of course.
Shout out who you want to shout out.
You know, I'd say definitely shout out on Polarize, Young Wabo, LaFlanic, always Hyperpop Daily and UGS too, and FTS. It's gonna be. I'm handling FTS's Twitter now as well, so be on the lookout for content from there. And cool stream coming up for a release. We're gonna be doing some cool releases with the streams with some artists, so be on the lookout for some cool stuff with that as well.
Hell yeah.
I'd say that's about it.
Keep grinding, bro.
Of course, you too.
On Instagram.
But okay, you have a good one.
You too, bro. Peace.
Peace.